Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate comes out July 2024 on the Switch. But this was a game on iOS in 2023.
This was actually a game already, and I'm glad you brought that up. Adam, do you have any interest in this game at all, or was this kind of a game where you were like, why is Dave making us talk about this dumb game?
I'm glad you asked that too, because I looked at it. I'm like, why does this feel kind of phone-like? Like, that's kind of what I was getting when I first watched the trailer. And then, as I searched the trailer, I was like, it is a phone game. And to be honest, it looks like a really fun, well-done phone game. And I can see why Nintendo picked it up to bring it to the Switch, because it's well done. It has very good mechanics for what they had on the iPhone, because it's an Apple exclusive. And I'm like going to put it on my iPad now because I really want to play it.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
So if you guys do not know anything about the game, we could probably pull up the trailer.
Yep.
But the game does release in July on the Switch. And like Adam said, this was initially released on Apple Arcade in May of 2023. And this is going to be just basically just kind of a real quick kind of recap here. This is a roguelite.
Yep.
This is a roguelite TMNT game. And story-wise, there's nothing too crazy here. You're basically just Splinter's been captured and you need to get him back. But I think one of the interesting things about the game is, like Adam said, like usually these games come from phones and you're just like, oh, that's a death kiss to the game. But for this one, for whatever reason, I just don't feel like it's that. Like I feel like it translated from the phone version to an actual console version really good. And if you guys are just listening, we're getting kind of vibes of like, this is hard to explain. It's got that top down, that 3/4 top down that I'm not like the hugest fan of, but that's fine. But it reminds me of just like a good old fashioned TMNT beat 'em up, like Turtles in Time or something like that, but like brought to a new life. And graphically, it looks amazing. And the character styles look really, really good. I feel like they adopted the IDW version of the Turtles. And we're just seeing a lot of really fluid gameplay. And all the Turtles have these like, it's not just kind of like a bash 'em up, beat 'em up kind of thing. Like they all have these like kind of special attacks that we're seeing to them. They almost look like lightsabers, where like the glow is around the weapon and stuff like that. I think it looks really interesting.
Yeah, it just makes it more vibrant, I think, seeing them swing their weapons. Because I think, especially on the phone, if you didn't see that flash, it wouldn't be as like enticing as a game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, like you need that. You need those bright colors and those fast animations and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think the game itself, I think a lot of people are going to kind of, there's going to be a very big mix of people on this game, right? There's going to be people that are like, this was a phone game. Like, I'm not even interested at all. Or there's going to be people that are just kind of like, I love that they're bringing this to the console. And I don't know that there's going to be too many in-betweeners, if that makes sense.
So when I was reading a lot of comments that a lot of people were excited about this game. And then they did, like you said, they found out it was a phone game. Like, I'm still excited about this game, but why didn't I hear about this at first? And it's funny. So when they released this, I was watching reviews of it when it came out on the phone. People were like, this game had no like real big announcement or no drops or anything. It just kind of like silent dropped and then like kind of went under the wayside. And people were like, why haven't I heard about this before? This has been on the phone for over a year. And now it's like, it's coming out. It's come with a new life to it. And I'm pretty excited about it. And yes, it's on the Switch now, but there's a lot of rumors saying that it's going to come to different consoles in the future. So hold your tongue on that one.
I'm glad you brought that up too, because I know a lot of people are going to be a little disappointed that this is a Switch exclusive, but I feel like it's a Switch exclusive again for the moment. I do feel like if this game does good and it gets the hype that it's still getting, it's going to come to consoles. And I'm really excited to play it because I love that stuff. I still love me TMNT Turtles in Time. Like I literally played it the other day. You know what I mean? And I love that kind of stuff. So the game itself, if you guys don't know too much about it, like we said, it's going to be a roguelike. You can obviously play as all 4 turtles. The cool thing about it is a 4-player co-op, so you can play with 4 people. And it's kind of, they say that it's going to be like a fluid 4-player co-op. So like if you're playing with 4 people and your 4th turtle kind of just dips out, it's not like the whole game's screwed. It's just going to be taken over by the computer. Adam's favorite thing about it, it's going to be set in New York City, of course, across 4 very unique locations.
Okay, Dave. The New York City of I wouldn't want a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game in Los Angeles or some random city. But yeah, it is in New York City, and that's fine.
Yeah, I just had to break your balls there a little bit. But yeah, obviously it's gonna be a roguelike, so no 2 runs are gonna be the same. You're gonna be getting these you'll be getting power-ups every time you complete a different room in your run. You will have the option to get some power-ups that you can use for the run. Now you will lose those, as pretty standard in a roguelike, but they do have like perma upgrades that you're gonna get from doing a complete run, earning the, points or whatever from that run, and then going back to your quote unquote kind of turtle lair, and you'll be able to get some upgrades there and keep those permanently for future runs, which I think is really cool. And each character is really different. And I thought that that was something that not a lot of people talked about, but I thought that was really, really cool that they made, not every turtle's the same. So like if you want to play as Donatello, you're going to get the range. Like if you want to play as Raphael, like you have more ability to do critical damage and stuff like that. So choosing the turtle is not even so much about which is your favorite turtle, which I think, I mean, obviously people are still going to do, but if you're looking to play a very specific way, choosing your turtle is kind of important, which is unique.
I thought about that as well. So when I was looking at this, I was like, oh, yep, definitely gonna play as Mikey. And then as I dove more into what type of player he is, I was like, actually, I think I'm gonna play as Raph because he's up close, fast paced. And I was like, that sounds more of my speed. And there's also Leo, who's more like he's like the kind of like the balanced, powerful character. Like that's how Leo is. Donnie also has higher HP with his longer ranged attacks, and Mikey also has a large area attack and things like that. So
I think this game isn't like groundbreaking, but I think from what we've seen, I mean, coming from a phone game, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about it, because I just thought that like people are going to kind of hate on it because it came from a phone game. But I think, typically we don't endorse phone games here, but I think this is one that you guys should definitely keep your eye on. We talked about a little bit too, the story being kind of basic. You're basically just saving Splinter, but I do want to throw out there that it was written by Tom Waltz, who writes the IDW comic book series, the TMNT series, which is really cool that they got like an actual, person in like that's involved, entrenched in the TMNT world to write the story. So I think the story that we're getting right now of this, like, oh, Splinter's been captured and we got to give him back, I think there's more layers to that, and I think you're gonna peel that back throughout the game.
so kind of going back to what you mentioned about phone games, I think it's not that we don't like phone games. It's just not what we talk about too much on here. And I think part of it is like it's hard because there's so many phone games out there, and it's hard to decipher which are like really good ones and with this game, I think why it's doing so well is I think with how or like where the phones are going in terms of their capabilities. And I think that's why they're starting on the Switch, because like Switch and phone are getting pretty close, to be honest. And I think that's why Nintendo's bringing out the Switch 2 here next couple of years or whatever, or maybe the next year. And I think that's why you'll see it at a later date. But I agree. I think it's going to have a lot to unpack within this game and not just a phone game.
Give it a chance. You might be turned off just because it is a phone game, but I'm going to say give this one a chance. Again, Tom Waltz is involved, so the story should be really, really well done. They promise there's tons of Easter eggs. We saw in the trailer too some pretty epic boss fights. I mean, obviously Shredder's in there, but we saw Bebop, we saw Rocksteady, so it's like all the classic villains that you love are gonna be a part of this thing. And it is a collab with Paramount Games, so they've come out and said already that like Splinter Missing is kind of just the beginning, and that kind of leads me to believe that like yes, there is going to be more to this story, and they're probably going to be expanding on this if it does well. So,
and I think that's a good thing. And honestly, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in general are kind of having a resurgence. Like they're having remakes of games, new games are coming out, new movies are coming out, and I think that's pretty exciting for old fans, but also new fans of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan base in general. Because honestly, like before the last like 3 years, you didn't hear too much bigger things. Like you saw, the Michael Bay Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, but I didn't really like those, to be honest. So
I didn't really like those either. So,
and would you say, are you like growing up, you were a big fan of the Turtles? are you excited where they're going now? Like, do you think they're going in a direction that you don't like, or are they going in a direction that you're pretty excited about? Or, hard question, do you think it's turning into a situation like Marvel?
I don't think it's turning into a situation like Marvel, and I think it's because I think they are actually doing it right. And here's
Mm,
where we're probably going to get some slack because I think what Michael Bay did was try to change it, and that's kind of moving. Like Michael Bay went in the wrong direction, right?
okay. Yeah.
So the turtles have always been kind of kid friendly, kind of kiddie, kind of campy, but that's who they are at heart.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're not called the adult Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right. And it's like that's kind of what Michael Bay did was like he kind of tried to turn them into these like I don't know, like the most generic like if you just told somebody that like okay, like make like a cool kid character that like he just made four of those. You know what I mean? And it was just so blatantly just kind of lame that you're just like, ah, this isn't it. This isn't it. It's not doing it for me. So I like that they're kind of going back to that more campy style. I think that's what Turtles is, and I think it needs to stay that way.
And with the newest one, Teenage or the Mutant May, I'm like struggling to say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right now. It's
That's why
kind
I'm
of
just
fun.
going TMNT.
Yeah, I need to start doing that. TMNT, the Mutant Mayhem. I thought that was really well done. Like I thought they did it right in terms of like they made it campy, they made it for kids, and like towards the end, you can tell it's a kid's story. You know what I mean? Like it's a movie for kids, but I enjoyed the art style. I enjoyed the interactions between the characters, like the quirky one-liners. I thought it was all very well done and fun. And I think that's like you said it. That's what TMNT needs to be.
And I think the TMNT is like one of those IPs where it's like it kind of transcends age. Like if you were ever a fan of the Turtles, you probably even doesn't matter how old you are, you kind of just want them to stay the same. You know what I mean? Like you don't need like an upgrade or anything like that. Or you don't need to try to make them older or try to make them more relatable to an older crowd. It's just even, I'm like even older people like me, dude. Like I just want the Turtles to be the Turtles for like the rest of time. So there's no need to change it.
And I think that's what this game's doing. I think it's giving us the turtles that people want, or like that us as fans want. And yeah, I'm excited about it for sure. Very excited about it. Yeah, I don't got much else to say except for it's a fun looking roguelike that I'm definitely gonna get on my phone or my iPad as soon as this episode is over, and gonna play the crap out of it.
Definitely check this one out. Don't worry that it was on the phone. I think it's going to be just fine. I do want to say real quick though that we talked about it. This releases in July, but they're saying it's a timed exclusive. Do you know what that means?
Like it's only on Switch for so long.
Like it's only on the Switch. Yeah, it's only on Switch for so long that you're able to get it. Is that what they're saying?
I think maybe it's like no, it's gonna be Switch first and then maybe other things. Is that what they mean?
Oh, I have no idea. I tried to look it up, but I couldn't find too much on it.
I can't imagine they'll just like put it on there for like a year or so and then take it off. I think it's Switch is getting it first and then they're gonna put it on like Xbox, PS5. I think that's kind of how it's gonna go.
That's kind of what I was thinking, and that was kind of what I was hoping for, but I just wasn't sure, and I didn't find any like pure, like definite info on that. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys are Switch players. Go ahead and just grab it right away. If you're like me, like a PS5 or an Xbox, maybe hold out for a little bit and see if it gets that drop on the other consoles sooner than later, because they're already saying it's a timed exclusive.
Or just pick it up now on your iPhone or Apple device and play with the controller on that way. If you want to play it now, play on the Apple Arcade, because I'm going to do that because I have a free trial for like 3 months and I'm going to activate it now.
Because Adam said that phones and Switch are the exact same thing now.
I'm going to get some slack for that.
You are
Okay,
Switch players are going to roast you, bro.
Some things on the Switch look so dated. Like the biggest one that like recently came out, Mortal Kombat 1. It was released like day one release with the Switch, and it looked absolutely horrendous. I would rather play the Mortal Kombat that's on my phone versus that one, to be honest.
Switch players, I love you guys, I really do. But I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna agree with Adam on this one. I would be hard pressed to think that the iPhone 15 is not stronger than a Switch. I would really be hard pressed to think that.
And my iPhone or my phone might be more strong than some Xbox games, but that's all right. Other than that, like, yeah, I'm super excited about this one. I can't wait for it to drop on the Switch. I probably will play it on my phone until it comes out on the Xbox or PS5 because that's kind of what I game on. But yeah, give it a shot. I think it's gonna be really fun. It's a roguelite, and it looks like it does it well and has a lot of feel of Hades to me. A Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Hades.
That's a great way to put it. Definitely drop this one on your radar if you are a Turtles fan.